My name is
Okay.
John Hastings.
My name is not John Hastings.
Welcome to our
This.
first dispatch in the Two Selbys project.
Yes. This is very
Already,
exciting, John.
it's very exciting. Already from using video and audio, we've already created a beautiful metaphorical distance between North America and Europe. In that I'm brightly lit. I have a light in front of me, various flags, the Ontario flag.
Oh, wow.
And the American flag there, and a lamp that I can't seem to move because it has perfect light in the evening for this room. And while Tim is broadcasting both auditorily and visually from a very European area, he could be somewhere. There's a curtain. It's very shadowy. The audio is tinny, like he's just come back from a dispatch giving notifications on Fritz.
Is it tinny? It could be tinny because I'm sitting next to a giant tin. That could be like I've got this.
I mean,
right next to me. So that.
What exactly is that? It looks like some sort of steel drum that you've turned into a cauldron.
It's the log basket, and that could be affecting the sound. I'm willing to accept that. What if I do this? Is that less tinny?
I mean, somehow that actually did make it less tinny. I don't actually think that being next to a large bowl usually has any effect on a microphone.
Well, I don't know, but I shoved a beanbag in it, and it seems to have sorted that. So we are doing a project, which is exciting, isn't it? I'm excited about it. Are you excited about it?
I'm very excited about it. I'm excited because it incorporates three of my favorite things.
Yeah.
History.
Yeah.
Comedy. Unnecessary bureaucratic admin. Yes, so I think as we explain the project, I think we should first discuss your relationship with Selby, United Kingdom, England.
I'm the 17th pittenser of Selby.
Of course.
And that means that I go to Selby once a year in the UK, and I inspect the drains at the Abbey, and I give out eggs and cheese to any stray Benedictine monks who are found to be in the Abbey grounds before midday. On Monday, Thursday. It's very specific.
How much eggs and cheese do you bring in preparation for the Benedictine months?
A pittance. It's the smallest amount in medieval measurements.
And based on castle doors, they were already quite small.
I go to give it out. It's a very old job. It goes back to the 12 and 1300s. Once you get it in a family, you hang on to it. I think that's the key.
Like dementia or alcoholism, once it's there.
Grasp it with both hands.
Yeah, just let
it go.
It's good for the story, Tim.
Let's keep it in.
The excitement in your voice when you called me mid-pando lockdown-aroo when you discovered that there was what in Canada?
Well, it was a conversation that I had with the guy that runs Selby Town Hall. So Selby Town Hall is an award-winning venue in Selby in the UK. And the town hall managing guy, I phoned him and I said I wanted to do this thing where I was talking to you across the globe, and but I wanted to sort of do something about Selby, but I wanted to involve Canada. And he said, "Oh, funny you should mention Canada. We had a call when the venue was still open before the lockdown. We had a call from a guy in Canada wanting to book tickets for a show at Selby Town Hall." And I said, really? That's like a really long way for him to go to see a show. Like, he'd have to fly all the way from Canada to Selby in Yorkshire.
He'd fly at least twice.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to fly to Leeds, maybe International Airport, I guess.
And there's no way you're getting a direct flight from Leeds. Leeds is on that list of airports that international is meant somewhat with a smirk. It's like international because Europe.
And then it became apparent that there were two Selbys. And he said, so there's a Selby in Canada? And I was like, there's a Selby in Canada? And the venue manager was like, yeah. And I went, does anyone know anything about Selby in Canada? Like, in Selby, do we know anything about it? And he said, no. I mean, the first thing I'd heard of it was this guy trying to book a ticket. So clearly there must be some sort of venue in Selby, Canada, because they must have had some sort of show going on that the guy was trying to book a ticket for.
Absolutely.
So it kind of got me thinking, like, what could be better in the whole lockdown, COVID, horrible situation than trying to find some new people to talk to? Because at the moment everyone's very insular and locked down, and they're not looking out. Let's go find this new Selby that I didn't know about, and the venue manager didn't know about, and even the mayor didn't know about. If anyone's going to know about it, the mayor would know.
Selby, because it's, I think, technically a county. We get back and it's very exciting. It's next to where Canada was originally formed as the first capital. It was very close to Kingston, which was one of the breadbaskets of Confederation. It's not Charlottetown, but it's up there.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to get to find all that out, because I don't know that much about the formation of Canada, which is, maybe Canada doesn't know that much about pittances.
Canada knows as much about pittencers as you know about the Confederation of Canada. It's an utterly bureaucratic and fascinating back and forth involving a lot of drunken Scottish aristocracy people. And they went to Canada because Canada was discovered by Scottish people. They got to the rocks of what is now Nova Scotia and went, the weather is just as shit here as it is back home. We look no further.
I bet knowing the Scots, they got there and went, it's a cracking weather front here. It's even more like Scotland here. It's even more snowy, There's even more snow.
And then they went in more north and more east, and then they found the snowiness. So I feel like that was the intrepid adventurers, all of that sort of stuff. And then they kept for some reason, making logging camps near swamps, which is a big part of the development of what we now know as Canada.
Somebody like St. Jerome said to somebody like St. Gervais, just get in all right, kids, obviously in French, get in a rowing boat and just row.
Salut mes amis.
From France.
Vous cherchez un rowing boat.
That's right, un bateau. And he basically said, row until you see 3 swans on a river bend, and then stop there and build me an abbey. And whichever saint it was basically got in the rowing boat from, I don't know, Clairvaux or wherever it was in France, and rowed round the coast of England up the mighty Ouse River and saw 3 swans on a river bend in Selby and went, that's it. That's the place. I'm going to go out on a limb.
What I like about that is there's also a parallel to that in Canadian history, also involving the French.
Really?
Which is the founding of Montreal occurred after, I believe it was Champlain, I could be incorrect, had a dream on his boat of an island made of a mountain where he would put a cross in glory to God. And he woke up and they were in the St. Lawrence and they were looking at what it became Montreal, the city of Montreal, Montreal Island. And he went and put a giant cross on the top of that mountain. And there is a cross illuminated to this day. And then when the Pope dies, it goes purple, which is also fascinating because they don't tell you that. You just live in the city as a university student and then just turn and go, why are all those buildings looking purple? Because it's a giant Vegas-y like cross. Fascinating. Wow. The influence of very specific Christian prophecies does really paint the landscape of Canadian and British culture at a certain point, because there's so many of those little stories of foundations of towns and locations and castles of just some old bald man going, do a thing until we get to a thing, and then that will give us purpose. A parallel could even be drawn between this project, which is, 2 friends going through various disrepair in personal life. Just go, I know what we'll do. We'll unite. We'll make these 2 towns sister cities, and that will give us, that'll fill this void in our souls.
That will be our purpose, Jonas. That will be our purpose.
It's just, that's something that just came to me. And that's one of those things where I've pulled at the thread just enough, because if we pull any further, we'll both have to have a cry.
You will drive along that big road in Canada until you see a car dealership. And there you will start a podcast.
Oh my God. What? Like, I'm in my 30s and I'm still like, I could stop at a fort, actually, Like, I could, why wouldn't I? We found there's some people in your Selby, and I think we should try and match who you've met in your Selby to the other Selby. So we need a mayor.
Yeah.
We need someone that works at the town hall, or as close to as we can get.
Whatever the venue is.
Whatever the venue is.
Yeah.
The third more important thing I think we need to get is what is the equivalent of the pittenser in Selby? We have to answer that, and we have to find that person.
And I'd like to know, I tell you what I'd like to know, John. I'd like to know, like, why is there a Selby in Canada? Is it like
Oh.
originally linked to Selby in Yorkshire? Is it like a guy from Selby in Yorkshire went to Canada and settled there, or is it? I don't. What? Why did they choose Selby? Why not call it? I don't know, London.
I
Why
think
call
that
it Selby?
I think there already is a London in Canada is the
Is that
problem.
okay?
I also enjoy that in Canada it was never given the new Selby, which
No.
would indicate that it's linked. It is its own Selby, as far as we can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And do they know about the swans like in Selby, Canada?
more important
What
question.
do they know? What do the Selby, Canada people know about Selby in Yorkshire?
Does Selby, Canada even have swans?
Yeah, or maybe Canadian geese. I'm a big fan of geese.
Geese are like hippopotami. You love them until you've met them, and then you can't unsee the evil that they do.
Well, I used to have geese, John.
Go on. Canadian?
No, I had Toulouse, French geese. I had an African. They're called Africans. They're very big. And
I'd like in the editing process, by the way, that they're appearing. The geese are appearing.
Yeah, they like popping up just out of the.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they are. They were lovely. They're great. Because what I try and do, you see, John, is I try and get the birds to make the eggs for Selby every year. So I have chickens, as you know, and they lay the eggs that I then take to Selby just in case there are any stray Benedictine monks.
Has there ever? That's what I meant. That was a question I meant to ask. Has there yet to be a Benedictine monk approach you?
They've never made it. So I mean, I'm always afraid that one year I'm going to like get to Selby and there's going to be like a coach trip of Benedictine monks just inadvertently chosen to turn up on Maundy Thursday, but they haven't. There's never happened.
Should we link it that if we can find some way for Selby, Canada, to get you one Benedictine monk for the Selby, UK, so you could finally give him egg and cheese, your pittance of egg and cheese in Selby, UK,
across the water.
Yeah,
we could just get him. Because I could deputize you, and you could give him that, across the water.
So will you deputize? So it would be a long distance pittance.
Yeah.
In Selby, I mean, there's a lot of things we could do to link.
Yeah.
The two towns, and what we're basically saying is we're going to quest and try and accomplish all of these things, and document what the journey is going through all of that.
Yeah.
We are hindered more by COVID and geographical issues, but we are buoyed by humor, friendship, grant money, and a need to accomplish an unnecessarily hilarious goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And have they both got schools? Selby's got some schools.
I have no idea if Selby, Canada has schools. I have no idea what they teach about your Selby. Have we got a hospital? Selby's got a hospital. I don't think it has a hospital. I don't know what churches it has. I don't know. Imagine Selby, Canada is Catholic. Selby, UK, only Protestant. Good Lord.
Who knows? The reason that it's called Selby is something,
sinister. Imagine how dark that could get. Oh, that would be wonderful. I mean, in the most horrible ways, but you'd just be like, sleeping dogs should be left to lie. Oh my word.
This is why they don't know about each other.
Yeah.
I think Selby, Yorkshire, one of the kings was born there. I think maybe Henry I or one of those guys.
A Shakespeare king.
He was born in the very abbey where my office is. My office.
Was he born in your office?
Oh, I mean, let's tell that story, but I don't think so.
I choose to believe that he was born in your office. Well,
I inspect the drains once a year as well. That's a very important part.
Yes, I wanted to actually just quickly, we also need to find, I feel that we need to do a joint drain inspection.
Yeah.
Me in Selby, Canada, you in Selby, UK, because I don't know how to inspect a drain.
No, I mean, I'm not sure. I say I'm not the expert at it, but I'm the only person that does it. So, I mean, I guess the way I do it is the water below the drain cover or above the drain cover. And if it's above the drain cover, then I think the drain's not working.
You know what?
That's my principle.
That's a great way to do it.
Yeah. That's all I've got. I mean, that's the only advice I can give you.
That's more than I had before we started this conversation. I'll tell you that much for free.
Yeah.
So before we wrap this up, how do you feel about our so far mission statement of link the two Selbys in as many ways as possible? Do you feel good?
Absolutely. That is it. Let's do this.
And the first project that we're going to work on is Tim is going to buy a camera for his laptop and a microphone so that he can be heard and seen in more of a luxurious and pristine manner.
So we've got one of the Henrys being a famous guy from Selby, Yorkshire.
There's a theory. Avril Lavigne is from the surrounding areas of Selby, Canada.
She's from the suburbs of Selby, is what we're saying. Is that?
If a limb would have to be walked upon, but I'm fine walking on that limb, because I am a skater boy and she is a skater girl.
Yeah.
And so it's that.
Could we make it any more obvious?
I mean, no.
I mean, it's like, so what's in the suburbs of Selby, UK? Eggborough Power Plant. Does she still live there? Is she? We have to find out all these things. I mean,
based on high school lore from when I was in high school, she kissed almost anyone I knew who went to a party, supposedly.
No.
I don't believe it for a word, but that was the rumor and gossip going around. So.
Oh, I see. So everyone's whatever. So many handshakes from the Pope or whoever it is.
Exactly.
Everyone in Canada is so many kisses away from Avril Lavigne.
Pardon me.
Wow. What time is it with you? How are you yawning? What is it?
It's 10. It's 10 past 1, but I'm healing a broken shoulder and elbow. So
Okay.
I choose.
How did you do the shoulder and
the handlebar of my bicycle snapped in the middle of traffic at the bottom of a hill. To give any of the parents out there nightmares about their children just biking around. Basically what to say is, I've had some surgeries, guys, and I'm going to be okay, but I might yawn a little bit throughout this project or ice my arm.
But it's getting better,
and I will be able to do the YMCA within the year.
You know what? I have a very huge sympathy with you. One of it is I had a relatively similar shoulder-based injury when I was rowing the channel in the bathtub. Snapped the thing that the ball goes into, the rotor cuff. I think.
Oh yeah.
So I took very strong painkillers and just kept rowing with it.
Yeah.
And
such a good idea with a rotator cuff injury to just rotate your cuff.
Yeah. Goodness me. Well, you survived. That's good news.
I mean, exactly. How much sadder would this project be if you were just doing it, talking to my urn?
Well, I mean, that would be very sad. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be brutal.
And I mean, that would be very sad. Yeah.
Indeed, it would be very sad, but luckily we're not in that situation.
No, we're not there. It's good news.
Indeed.
I just think maybe stay off the bike for a bit.
I mean, yes, but how am I also to explore beautiful rural vistas such as Selby, Ontario, Canada? In a car, you won't smell the cutting of the grass. You won't hear the chirping of the birds.
Walk.
I mean, that's fair. That's a fair point right there. Is what you've absolutely bested me on that one.
What about you get a skateboard?
I mean, that's so much worse for injuries.
Is it?
I mean, one would assume.
Because I'm just thinking like skater boy, skateboarding.
Are you thinking that if I just go to Selby dressed like Avril Lavigne did in those music videos in the late 90s, she'll just appear much like Bloody Mary summoned by saying that into a mirror 3 times?
That's what I'm hoping.
Here's my question. Have you ever actually said Bloody Mary 3 times to a mirror to see if she appears?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Why would you? I don't believe in any of that, but I'm also not tempting the fates to find out if she does appear.
Yeah. I mean, she's a bit, I mean, executions went up significantly in her reign.
I mean, what I have to say, that's probably the most English thing I've ever heard you say.
What is that? The Office of National Statistics. I'd like to say, on behalf of the Office of National Statistics, during the reign of Mary, the execution rate went up exponentially. It was a terrible, terrible situation.
Absolutely top notch.
Do you think we can get hold of Avril Lavigne? I mean, is that a thing?
We try every route possible.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you should go to LA and just walk around a bit and see if she's like shopping.
In COVID? I mean, that would be very...
I mean, I remember being in LA once and being in a restaurant and Leonard Nimoy coming in.
Wonderful.
Hello. And
I ran
free. It's quite strange.
I ran into Bridget Nielsen a lot for like a good few months. Just kept running into the wife from Rocky IV.
Yeah. She's quite tall, isn't she? She looks like a Viking goddess or something, doesn't she?
Which also stands out in LA because seeing someone on the street in LA is already weird. So then if someone who's tall and walking on the street, you're like, who could, and then you're like, oh, it's Bridget Nielsen. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah. Did you say hi?
I did not ever once. Did you say hello to Leonard Nimoy?
I did, yeah.
Or did you say live long and prosper?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Yeah, I should have done. I think the other thing that happened to me when I was in LA was...
You don't strike me as a Star Trek fan, I will say. Like, I feel like you'd know Leonard Nimoy from... you'd know him because someone told you he's Mr. Spock, but you don't strike me as someone who's like...
poetry.
You're a big fan of Leonard Nimoy's poetry?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb.
That's like liking William Shatner for the music.
Well, I do.
Yeah. So not only about Selby, fun facts about Tim's adventures in Los Angeles.
Yeah. I liked Los Angeles a lot. I thought it was nice.
It's a beautiful, wonderful factory town. It's just
we think Avril Lavigne's there. That's why we're homing in on it. Is that
we do think Avril Lavigne is there?
Okay.
It's listen, odds on bet. If I know anything about Canadians, and I do, is that they don't. If they get big in show business, they go to warmth. LA is warm. She is here.
Okay.
Possibly at a Trader Joe's. Possibly buying rice crackers. Only time will tell.
I think that's the place to start then, isn't it?
It certainly is. Just go to a Trader Joe's.
Just
go to a Trader Joe's and start asking around, do you know Avril Lavigne?
I think also maybe the skate parks. Try that.
I mean, I will try the skate parks. I feel like I'm going to have to buy some attire so I don't look like a narc. English people talk much faster than North American people, so they're exaggerating the difference. Yeah.
Is that? I wonder why that is. Is it the wind?
It's one of the great secrets that of England that they never tell anyone is that you're all the pirates.
It's not. I mean, I think we'd say it's not a brilliantly kept secret.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where when no one thinks England thinks pirates, and you should think pirates. Like you should 100% think pirates. Like you should think of that. Like, like that's of course they're all from Bristol. That's why Bristol's so fun. Either way, here's my question. So Cape of Good Hope is the bottom of Africa. What is the bottom of South America called? Oh,
that's a good question. Is it the bottom of South America?
Yeah, I think it is just called the bottom of South America. Yeah. Unfortunately. That's why Canada was so important, because they thought they were going to find a shortcut to Japan, and said they just found a bunch of lakes. Human beings have always had these intrepid, not so bright, very daring individuals that aren't channeling their stupid emotions into, say, a podcast about uniting two towns, but are instead getting in a boat and just going, fuck it, we're going to find a cut through to get to Asia faster. Oh, instead I just discovered Brazil.
Why did they call it Canada?
It's a native term.
Okay.
Native term that it's under some dispute. Supposedly, what is thought has happened is because it's a term for a house.
Oh.
The English bureaucrat person just misunderstood, because the person just went, Canada. And he went, okay, it's all called Canada. And they were like, no, he was pointing at his house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an error. It's a nice name.
You know what? It really rings true. French Canadians are as important to the tapestry of Canada as any other thing. And Canada is a better country for having more than one cultural spice within its ingredients. And also they also put cheese and gravy on potatoes, which can't be looked past in terms of a significant contribution to the country. England, Selby, I assume, is as old as milk.
Well, it goes back to what's his chops, the Saint and his rowing boat and the Three Swans.
Yeah, so that's not happening in the 90s. Like, that's definitely something that occurred recently.
Oh no, I mean William the Conqueror's son was born in Selby.
Okay, yeah. So we're talking.
So,
it's oldie times.
Yeah. It's a very old. So it's Viking to start with.
That's good stuff, isn't it?
Oh, it goes back before the monk. It's St. Benedict. But yeah, it's Viking and Anglo-Saxony and all that stuff. Well, but it's Selby, of course it is. Viking. It means Sells town. Sells B. So BY means my town, my settlement. So like Grimsby is the town of Grim, and Selby would be the town
of Sel. So is it possible that the Vikings that made it to Canada founded the Canadian Selby?
I mean that would be brilliant.
But imagine, I'm going out on a limb here, Tim. I'm saying that the Canadian Selby was also founded by Vikings, and prove me wrong. Research and time. But that is my hypothesis of my own thesis.
Okay. It would be nice if they were founded simultaneously.
Oh. By like a father and son duo. I mean, you just got to imagine what that guy Grimm was like. You got to assume not fun.
I think a lot of the Viking names sound like Ragnar. They don't sound like guys that you want to muck about with too much.
No, Odin always had ravens.
Oh, he hangs out with ravens. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. I never liked that about him.
No.
Don't go in for
true story.
Don't go in for ravens. Me. Also, don't like people with one eye. It's always very off-putting. It's a weirdly very Canadian thing, a very Ottawa thing, or maybe just a my neighborhood thing. And there was a lot of old men with ill-fitting glass eyes, so it just was very off-putting, terrifying.
I mean, was it the glass eye thing? Were you going for that?
I was sort of going for that, but I was conjuring up a few others. Your face, exactly. Yeah, and all those people are now dead. The answer is gone.
I think we have to hope that we can get the answers from Selby, Canada.
I mean, I know the answers will come from Selby, Canada. I don't know if the answers will come from my family about what was going on with that leg.
I can't help you with that.
That's okay. Should I turn off the recording now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.